There are some important steps after opening your company that you need to take to avoid disruptions and problems later on. In today's podcast, we discuss what these steps are.
Welcome to the Business Lessons in Denmark podcast. Our podcast gives the answers to your business-related questions that have not been answered yet or things that haven't even crossed your mind. My name is Edina Bohos and I am here with my colleague Katalin Balog. We are owners of Cool Accounts APS, the Danish accounting office. Hi, Kati. I think no one has doubt about what kind of company to open in Denmark. If the person have listened to the previous podcast, starting a company is relatively simple in Denmark because almost everything can be done digitally. You can sit in your living room in pajamas at 11 o'clock and open your company.
Yeah, that's right. In Denmark, you can open your company even in pajamas.
Yes.
That's correct. Anyway, typically you will have your company pretty quickly, within a few days. The company receives a CVR number. By the way, CVR is the abbreviation of Central Virksomheds Register, Central Company Register in English. We already mentioned this CVR number in our podcast before a few times. And this number is usually, or actually, a unique identification number for your company. In Denmark, this number is also used as your VAT number, tax number, company tax number.
Yes. So I will open my company. I just ask you or a lawyer to open my company. I will receive my CVR number and then I can right away start my business. Right?
Right.
Okay.
When you have the CVR number, then your company is operational from then on, and you can start your production. But that's not all. We have just talked about how convenient it is that in Denmark everything is digitalized. But this digitalization also means that your company must operate digitally too. The first requirement for this is that your company uses a MitID.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Those who are living in Denmark know about MitID because you can't manage your daily life without it. Some of our listeners live in other countries, so can you explain what this MitID for them?
Yeah, MitID is actually a digital signature. The word Mit in Danish means my, so MitID literally means my ID. As you said, every person living in Denmark knows what this is because as individuals, we also use MitID. With this, we can access the internet interface of our bank, the municipality, or the tax office, and all other state systems.
Yes, this MitID is an app on my mobile phone. The only function is to approve digital access to different online systems or transfer money from the bank. And then you say that if I have a company, I have to request a MitID for the company as well.
Actually, if you are the only owner of your company, then not necessarily, because then you can use your personal MitID for the company also. So if you have a sole proprietorship or you are the only owner of your APS, then you can use the same MitID for your company that you use for your private, as a private person.
Okay, that's pretty simple. What if one has an ES with 3 friends as owners? How will their company get a MitID?
Well, such companies must connect to the company MitID system, and here the company does need a company MitID. It's another matter that even when they have connected the company to the company MIT-ID system, they can still choose to use their private MIT-ID for the company also.
Okay. So when I specifically want a company MIT-ID, I can use my private MIT-ID as a company MIT-ID, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And I would like to also add that if you are the only owner of your company because you have a sole proprietorship, or you are like you have an APS where you are the only owner, then it still can be a good idea to get a company MIT-ID, because you might have colleagues who also work for the company. So you are not the only one who actually handles all the company matters.
Okay, could you tell a little bit more about it?
Yeah. So basically, when you are using this company MIT-ID, then you can give certain rights to certain people in your organization. For example, you are the owner, but you also have an accountant. So you are not the one who handles everything. Let's just take an example. If you have a sole proprietorship, for example, you have this Hungarian restaurant that we many times have mentioned. You are the only owner, but let's say you suddenly suffer an accident in the kitchen. You boil yourself with hot water or something like that, and then you can't work for a long time. It would be good for you to get sick benefits. But in order to enter the state system where you can apply for the sick benefits, you need to enter with the MIT-ID. And when you are sick, it would be good if somebody else, maybe your accountant, could apply for the sick benefits for you. So so it's good if you have this company MIT-ID, and then more people in your organization can use it.
Yes. So in short, unless you manage everything alone, do all the administration yourself, it's definitely good to have a company MIT-ID, even if your personal MIT-ID is also registered as company MIT-ID, right?
Right. Yeah, that was a good phrasing. If you compare an individual with a group, an organization, then we know that the group or organization is always stronger, always has an advantage over the individual. In order for your company to be able to operate as a group or organization from a digital point of view, you must connect your company to the company MIT-ID system. In this way, you can give rights to various people in your company, as mentioned before, and everything will work more smoothly.
Okay. And as said, the first requirement for digital operation is the MIT-ID. What will be the second one to meet all the digital obligations?
Yes. When you receive your CVR number, the system opens a digital mailbox for your company, which is called Digital Post in Danish. This is actually a virtual mailbox that exists on the internet, and you must receive and read letters from public authorities in that.
Do I have to accept and read them?
Yeah, you must receive the letters, and read them, because I mean, if you don't do it, you can't say that, oh, sorry, I didn't read the letter, or I didn't even know that I received that letter, or I didn't even know that I have something like a digital post. You can't say that.
It's a shame, but it might be good to refer to something like that for some letters.
Yeah, I understand. Well, the tax office, for example, could be a state authority from which not everyone likes to receive letters, but yeah, that's the situation.
Okay, I see. And then this is the digital mailbox, and it's quite similar to an email system, only doesn't have email address, but is assigned to the company's CVR number. And when I log in the system on the internet, then I can read my letters.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. But now I am a little bit confused because apart from the Digital Post. There are also two other similar electronic mailbox systems, Airbox and MitID K. What are these then?
No, eBooks, as you say, and
Yeah.
then Meet.dk.
Meet.dk.
Yeah, Meet.dk. Yes.
Yes.
Actually, there are three digital mailbox systems.
Mhm.
First, the state system, which is called Digital Post. This is what we have talked about just before. And then there is this eBox, and then the third one is the Meet.dk. These two latter are actually managed by private companies. The Digital Post is the state system, and these other two are operated by private companies. The eBox is operated by a company called eBox AS, and Meet.dk is run by another private company called Netcompany AS. These two differ from Digital Post only in the fact that not only public authorities can send letters there, but also private companies. So they have a wider range of services, so to speak.
Okay, so I can receive digital letters from private companies in my Airbox or in Meet.dk.
Yeah.
Who are these private companies? My bank, for example, or my insurance company?
Yeah, exactly. But any private company that you give permission to send letters to you into your eBox or
Okay.
Meet.dk.
Okay, anyway, wouldn't it be easier to use normal email?
Yeah.
Good point, right?
The point is that many communications contain personal data, which is simply not safe to send via email. And according to the rules, it is not even allowed to send via email. For example, communications from the Danish tax agency usually contains personal data. So yeah, these three systems, all three are secure sending and receiving systems. And that's why they are used by public bodies and private companies too, like banks.
Mm-hmm. I remember that when I came to Denmark, there were only eBooks. Why were there three different systems for the same functions?
Well, first, eBox, who had a contract with the Danish state to provide this service. But then their contract expired, and the state announced a new tender, which was not won by eBox, but by a different company. And that's why these new players came into the market, and therefore is that's why our life is more complicated now.
Yeah.
I personally agree with you that it's not logical from the user's point of view to have three parallel systems for the same thing, but unfortunately this is the situation.
Yeah, but actually eBooks and Meet.dk are parallel systems because both can receive letters from public authorities and private companies, while Digital Post only receives letters from public authorities.
Yes, that's the precise formulation. eBox and Meet.dk are actually two solutions that compete with each other on the market. The two companies who operate them compete on the market. You decide which one to use. You can use both if you want. As long as you only receive letters, you don't have to pay for the service. But if, as a company, want to send letters via their safe system, then you will have to pay.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's move on then. Do I have any other digital obligation?
Yes, your company should have a designated official bank account where the public authorities can transfer money to your company.
To transfer money to my company. That sounds really good. But I think we should deal with this in the next episode because our time frame is slowly running out. Shall we leave the subject of the company bank account for next time? What do you think?
Yeah, okay. The matter of the bank account, the business account, has caused a lot of headaches for many company owners for certain reasons, which we will discuss next time. So it will probably be useful to go over this topic very thoroughly.
Absolutely. Thank you for today's information, and we also thank the listeners for their attention. See you next week. Today's episode was sponsored by Kulakon CPS. Kulakon CPS can help with starting your company, with bookkeeping and tax matters. In addition, we also provide business and financial consulting. If you liked the show, then follow us and like our Facebook page. If you would like to contact us, you can do so via our website www.accounts.cool. We wish you a successful week.